If you're thinking about diving into the world of dropshipping or you've already started, then this video is a must watch for you. I'm going to share the 5 things I wish I knew before I started dropshipping, and that is the consequences of scaling too hard, the importance of having the right currency bank account, why you should use Shopify Payments, how to minimize the risks of PayPal bans and holds, and lastly, how to minimize the risks of ad account restrictions. Now, I've been dropshipping for years and have done over 8 figures in this industry, and I'm sure that these things will help you dodge a bullet and save money in the future. So, let's dive in. Let's begin with point number 1. Consequences of scaling too hard. So, the first and biggest mistake I made in dropshipping was underestimating how severely damaging scaling too hard can be for your business. This is a common mistake I see many dropshippers do with new winning products, and if you're not careful, it can be a disaster for your business. Now, let me tell you a short story of what happened to us one time. So, the first year I started with dropshipping, I had a store that could scale from $350,000 in October to $5.5 million in November. That is more than a 10x increase in revenue, which led to a lot of problems with PayPal, supplier fulfillment issues, and customer support agent issues. PayPal started by putting a static hold on our account of $200,000, and on top of that, a 25% reserve over 90 days. This means that they will hold 25% of your revenue for 90 days, and it's a rolling reserve, so for every order you get, they will take 25% of the transaction and just hold it. And this essentially means that you will need to maintain a 25% or higher profit margin in order to continue to operate your business. However, for my part, if we didn't have the cash reserves to survive, it would have forced us to shut down completely or scale down really hard. Luckily, at that time, most transactions were coming from Stripe and not from PayPal. And we were lucky that Stripe did not put a hold or a rolling reserve on our account, because if they did, it would have been game over. But eventually, after 3 months, PayPal decided to start releasing the funds to us day by day. But in the end, they still kept $160,000 for 6 months, and then they released it to us. But our situation with PayPal could have gone way worse than this. I know a lot of people in the dropshipping space that have had their money held by PayPal, and PayPal has been refusing to pay them out, so they pretty much just stole their money. But fortunately for us, we were lucky. Now, the other problem we had while scaling this hard was fulfillment issues. But this was not caused by a bad supplier. It was simply because of a misjudgment from our side on how hard we'd be able to scale during Black Friday and Cyber Monday, which is the biggest selling season of the year in North America. It starts on Friday following the American Thanksgiving each year and continues to the following Monday. So we ended up scaling really hard, and when I say that, I mean that we were averaging over $500,000 in revenue every day for a whole week, with $650,000 on the highest day. This got us to completely sell out all the inventory the manufacturers had, and they could not keep up with the production with the amount we were selling. And now you might be thinking, why not just slow down and decrease the ad spend to generate less sales? Well, the problem was that the manufacturers were lying to our suppliers on the amount of stock they had and how much they could produce per day. So it wouldn't require a lot of guessing to what happens afterwards. Well, we ended up refunding over $1.6 million in revenue because there was simply not enough stock to fulfill all orders, and the manufacturers were not even able to produce enough stock to fulfill all orders without having the customers wait for several weeks. Because at that time, most customers did not want to wait for that long, since many were buying the products as a Christmas gift. So if you plan on scaling really hard, ask your supplier to plan ahead with the manufacturers and to send someone to the factory to confirm the numbers they give to you. Also, get more customer support agents ready and give your payment processor and PayPal a call to inform them about the surge in revenue that you will have. Trust me, this will make things much easier for you in the future. And now for the next mistake I made was the importance of having the right bank account currency. Now, the second mistake we made when starting out was not having a USD bank account. So, since we were selling products in USD and we had our bank account connected to Stripe in euros, what happened was that we were getting our payouts in euros, and Stripe was converting the USD to euros and charging us a currency exchange fee for that. The second thing is that we were spending money in USD to run ads. So our bank had to exchange from euros to USD to pay for the ads, And of course, they will take an exchange fee for that as well. Now, honestly, this is a mistake that could have easily been avoided and that could have saved us tens of thousands of dollars. So to go around this, today we use Revolut. And with Revolut, we receive payouts in USD. It's a great bank and I would highly recommend you guys to use it for payouts. Now, if you thought that this mistake was bad, just wait until you hear the next one. And that is why you should use Shopify Payments. Now, the next point I want to go over is payment processors. And this one took us a while to figure out, but we eventually did after running multiple successful dropshipping stores. And that is that Shopify Payments is actually much better than Stripe in terms of conversion rates and will get you more customers to convert. The main reason is that with Shopify Payments, you're able to offer customers the option to pay with their local currency, and not only that, but you're also able to offer Klarna as a payment method, which will enable your customers to buy your products even though they may not have the funds at that exact certain time. With Stripe on the other hand, this is not possible. Now, the cons of Shopify Payments is that your average fees will be higher than Stripe, and that is because customers that pay in their local currency would get automatically exchanged to your payout currency, and the conversion fee there is 2%. But so far, from what I've seen, it's still more profitable to pay the extra amount in fees than not to offer local currency payments. And honestly, this is something I've never seen anybody talk about in this industry, so I highly recommend you to take a look at it as well. Now, the next point is something that many has asked me about, and that is how to minimize the risks of PayPal bans and holds. So I want to go over PayPal and what you can do to immensely minimize the risks of getting banned, restricted, or having your money held by PayPal, because as you may know by now, PayPal pretty much hates dropshippers, and they're looking for the smallest reason to either ban you or place restrictions on your account. So to minimize the risks, you should install an app that automatically uploads tracking numbers to customers that pay with PayPal, because this will make you look more serious in PayPal's eyes and less like the average dropshipper. I personally use an app that I found in the Shopify store called PaulTrack, and I've been using this app for a very long time now without having any issues. This app is a must-have for every single Shopify store that I start, and I recommend that you do the same. However, if you're on a tight budget and you don't want to pay extra for an app, that's totally fine. You can always go ahead and sign into your PayPal account and upload the tracking numbers manually, but it's up to you to decide which route you want to take. Now, to my last point, I would like to go over how to minimize the risks of ad restrictions. Now, in my opinion, the two areas that new dropshippers and honestly most dropshippers struggle with are payment processors and ad account restrictions. And at this point, I want to go over the few things you can do to minimize the risks of getting banned on Facebook. Now, this one is quite obvious, but before you even set up any campaigns, you should read their advertising policies. Now, I honestly don't think many people do that. Just search Meta advertising policies on Google and spend a few hours to read through the articles and the linked-in articles. By doing that, you'll most likely save your future self from lots of headaches. Sure, this might take you a while, but this is highly recommended. Now, after you've done that, you should know that Facebook can sometimes also disable your ad account for no reason, especially if you're a new advertiser. It could be that they just disable it to get you to send a picture of your ID and then reinstate your ad account. But what they mostly focus on is the page quality. This is a score that Facebook gives your business based on a survey that they send to their users that purchase through the ads you run on the platform. And you want this score to be as high as possible. It's called page quality score and ranges from 0 to 5. And you don't want the score to be less than 2, as this will penalize your ad performance by increasing your CPMs. So always keep an eye on your page quality score. Check it every 3 days or so to make sure you're at least above a score of 2. Now, from personal experience, what I've seen is two things that can affect your page score the most, and that is your shipping time and product quality. So make sure you do good on those by, for example, not fulfilling through AliExpress, but instead using a private supplier, and make sure that the items your supplier is shipping is good quality. Because if you think about it, at the end of the day, what matters the most is that you serve your customers right and give them a good shopping experience from you. So you need to focus on all aspects of your business, mostly your customer support, fulfillment, and product quality. So to conclude everything I've gone over in this video, please know that this is all from personal experience. Of course, you might go through similar things that I've went through, or even worse, or even better. But you should know that it all comes down to you staying consistent and not giving up at the end of the day. Also, I can guarantee you that there's a solution to all of these problems. There's no dropshipper that has made it all the way to the top without having any issues. Anyway, I hope you've learned something new. If you would like to see a part 2, please comment down below, and if you found this video useful, make sure to give it a like and subscribe if you want to see more valuable content. Take care for now.